welcome to Keeping It Real with KC. I am your host, KC Phoenix. It is officially the weekend. I'm doing my one episode that I promised, which will be an album review. And just like with movie recommendations, when I do these type of episodes, they usually aren't that long. So this episode may end up being 10, 15 minutes, if that. So, yeah. And also, just a heads up, for my daily thought on Monday, which I plan to do, universe willing, you will be very surprised with what I discuss on my daily thought. And it doesn't involve anything emotional. It doesn't involve health. It's something different. And I'm sure some people will think I'm crazy when I discuss it, but I don't care because it's my show. So I can talk about what I want to talk about. But I'm looking forward to doing my daily thought on Monday because something has happened and I have some thoughts about it. But anyways, for this episode of the main show, Keeping It Real with KC, because as you know, my daily thought is a supplement to the Keeping It Real KC show. For the main show of Keeping It Real with KC, I'm doing my album review, or you could say album review / recommendation or whatever. And when I was going through albums, and I mentioned this on previous episodes, where I had said I didn't know what album I planned to review, but whatever album I review, it'll be something that I more than likely like, and the album could be old or new. So, this particular artist that released this album, this artist has been around for a while now. As a matter of fact, when this artist came out, a bunch of many versions of this artist came out at the same time. And I say many versions are different variations. Basically, during a time period, all of these artists, just a crop of them came out. And it was like, wow, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. It's almost like when there were a bunch of female girl groups, like SWV was out, Brownstone was out, Moke and Step was out, Escape, Changing Faces, Jade, the list goes on and on and on, Black Girl, tons of female girl groups, Eternal, were coming out back to back to back. Of course, the greatest girl group of all time, in my humble opinion, and really it is more of a fact, In Vogue. You know, all of these female soul girl groups were out at the same time, and all of them were doing well. All of their albums were either going gold or platinum at the time. So they were all finding success in their own right. With this particular artist, when she came out, a whole bunch of other girls were out too. This artist, she came out in 1999 at the end of June. And there was a song called Genie in a Bottle. Now, for those of you who may be in your early 20s that listen to this show, you may know a little bit about this artist, but you may not know that much about this artist. She was part of the Mickey Mouse Club, and she was in the group with Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and all of them. And even in the Mickey Mouse Club, if you look at some of her older performances when she was even younger than she was then, because I think when the Genie in the Bottle album came out, I believe she was 15, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, sort of similar to Monica, because Monica came out when she was 14 or 15. So even when she was younger than that with the Mickey Mouse Club, everyone knew this girl could sing, and all of them recognized her vocals. Later, she released more albums because she released Stripped after Genie in the Bottle, and then so on and so forth. But the album I'm talking about is the album that came out in 2010 that it seems everyone slept on. This particular album, and then for my album review next month, and I might do 2 album reviews next month, depending on what's going on, because there were 2 albums, and I know I'm going off the trail but I promise I'll come back. There were 2 albums in 2006 by 2 artists that were totally slept on. And they were amazing albums. And one of the artists, the album just wasn't marketed right. There wasn't enough marketing and promotion of the album for it to get what it deserved. And then the other artist, the reason that artist's album didn't take off, even though it went gold, it should have been multi-platinum, was because people had a bias against that artist. They're like, oh, you're gonna sing? So those 2 albums in 2006, the most slept on albums in 2006, and I'll probably do that for my album review next month. But as for this month, let's stay in the present. I'm talking about, of course, Christina Aguilera, and the album I'm talking about is Bionic. I believe part of it was marketing. I believe that was part of it. But sonically, the albums, it was a little bit similar to Britney Spears style. It was very catchy. What do you want to call it? Dance. I don't necessarily want to say techno, house, all that stuff. But sonically, well, I guess you could say it was more house. Yeah, you could say it was more house. Because Britney Spears, she navigated from pop over, as she went on, over to like club house, techno type sounds, sonically. On Christina Aguilera's Bionic album, those elements are there in the Bionic album. It's just that the voice is obviously different. And I will say this, all of the girls that came out around that same time in the 90s, because it was like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Mandy Moore, Jessica Simpson, Vitamin C. I feel like I'm missing somebody else who came out in like the 90s and the late 90s and the early 2000s that were sort of cookie cutter. Pink as well. Who else? I feel like there was another girl that was cropped in. Like they went into a store and said, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Let's bring that one out. Because that's what it felt like they were doing every time they were bringing out these girls. And when it comes to all of the girls, all of them are amazing in their own right. Just like Pink has carved out a lane for herself, clearly Britney Spears has carved out a lane for herself. And Jessica Simpson has done the same, which Jessica Simpson is a Cancer like moi. All of them are amazing in their own right. However, when it comes to vocals, I'm sure all of them know they cannot see Christina Aguilera, period. And even Justin Timberlake said that when he was talking about when they used to work together on the Mickey Mouse Club, that all of them knew when it comes to vocals, Christina was the one. And that's the thing. Some people now, one girl I used to work with, she said Christina screams too much for her. But I like Christina's voice. To me, Christina's voice is very soulful. But as for the album Bionic, I don't think it was promoted as well as it could have been, or, well, that it was that, and then also for some reason it just didn't catch with people. She did the Not Tonight song, which was a good song. I wish she would have done the title song as the single. Bionic is hot. That song is hot. And I don't know why she didn't push that one harder on the Bionic album. And I have it next to me. With the, because it's Not Myself was good. She did the Woohoo, which that was with Nicki Minaj. Honestly, and this is my personal opinion, people already know how I am about loyalty. Lil' Kim worked with, and I'm not doing this Nicki Kim thing. This is just how I feel about the situation. Lil' Kim worked with Christina on the Stripped album with Can't Keep Us Down. Also, Kim worked with Christina on Lady Marmalade as well, which Christina shined on that song too. And I feel, I don't know if Christina had a say on who would be on the song, where if it was like the record execs were like, hey, we have the song for you, this is who we want to do the song with you, da 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 da. Or if someone brought the song to Christina and Christina made the choice of who she wanted to work with. However, whatever the situation may have been, one or the other, it would have been nice, instead of saying, well, we're going to go with the artist who's hot right now in rap, the female artist who's hot right now, it would have been nice to say, you know what, let's go ahead and bring Kim back. And that's me, not just because Kim is amazing. Kim is the queen mother of all females when it comes to rap. And I covered that in one of my episodes, and when I did an album review of Kim's latest album, which is older now, but which is a year old now, I think. And I also mentioned other things too, like Kim is just amazing. And I wish that for the Bionic album, Christina would have picked Kim to work with them again to bring back that same magic, because it's clear they have a decent chemistry sonically. Because when you listen to them, they mesh up really well together. So that's just my opinion on that. As for picking a favorite song on the, oh wow, we're already into 12 minutes? Really? Damn. I always jinx myself, man. But anyways, as for picking a favorite song on the Bionic album, it would be hard, but if I was forced to make a choice, I would probably say Vanity. And for those who haven't listened to the Bionic album, which I have the deluxe album. So it has like 20 plus tracks on it, because some are introductions, but it's not that many. I'm looking at it right now. 1, 2. Yeah, there's only 2 intros I'm seeing on this. So 2 from 23, so 21. On the deluxe album, there's 21 tracks. That's the one that I have. But Vanity I love that song. That song is so sassy. If you haven't heard the song by Christina Aguilera, Vanity, you need to check that out. That's the song. If I was forced to make a choice. However, I also like the song I Hate Boys as well. I like that song. Also, I like the song I Am. It's a slow song. It's similar to, what was the name of that other song I'm thinking from Stripped? It was slow as well. The girl within. I haven't listened to the Stripped album in a minute. The only songs I remember off the Stripped album off the top of my head is, of course, Dirty, because that was my jam. That song makes you want to get up and dance. And of course, Can't Hold Us Down with Kim. But there was another song, The Voice Within. That's it, The Voice Within. I believe that was on the Stripped album. I don't think that was on the other album, the double album, Back to Basics. So I'm pretty sure Voice Within was on the Stripped album. I Am is similar to that song, The Voice Within. Also, there's another song on there, another slow song on Bionic called Lift Me Up. That's a nice song too. I also like Glam as well. Glam's cute. Sex for Breakfast is nice. It's slow. It's got a real nice vibe to it. So with Bionic, it's a song, it's an album that you can listen to all the way through. Because you know, with most albums now, and that's the other thing too, it's amazing how things go in cycles where at first, like during this period from the 90s, 2000-ish stuff, early 2000s, artists were putting out tons of songs on their album. They would put out like 15, 17, 20 songs. But before that, a few decades before that, artists would put out 8 songs or 7 songs and be like, deuces, I'll see you in 2 to 4 years. And then that was it. What you got was what you got. If you got 8 songs, you got 8 songs. If you would be lucky to get more than 10 songs on an album. And then of course it changed where artists started adding more songs and you started getting 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 20 and so on and so forth. And now it seems, or maybe it's just me, that artists are releasing albums with less songs. Like, I'm not saying they went down to 6 or 7 consistently, but it seems like they're at 10 or maybe 11 or maybe 9 or so, and then they'll release another album a year later or 6 months later or whatever they do. So it's just amazing how things sort of go back to the way it was. Everything's in a cycle. But as for Bionic, album review, Bionic, I would say, because I haven't bought Christina's latest album. I bought the one before that. What was it? She had like 2 or 3 songs on there I liked, but I didn't like the whole album. I forgot the name of the damn album. I don't even remember the name of it. I bought it, but I don't remember the name of it. But there was an album she came out with after that. And you know what? Give me 2 seconds. Because I have my laptop in front of me. Christina Aguilera. Hold on. Discography. Because that way I can figure out what album it was that I bought. Lotus. That's what it was. I bought Lotus. So I haven't bought Liberation. I haven't bought that. I had the Christmas album. I had that one. Which, that Christmas album was on point. Even though she didn't have the best Christmas album. Because obviously, best Christmas album, in my opinion, is still Mariah Carey. But there were songs on there that were definitely on point. But anyways, it was Liberation. I haven't listened to the Liberation album. I haven't bought the Liberation album. But the album before that, which was Lotus, I did buy it. I did listen to it. I liked about 3 or 4 songs on it. With removing Liberation out of the equation, I say Bionic is her best album. Removing Liberation out of the equation, because I haven't listened to it. And yeah, I think Bionic is better than Stripped. Stripped was a nice album. If I sat down and went through the songs, I'm sure everything will come back to me. And Stripped was a great album. But Bionic is something about that album where it gives you a little bit of everything, but also it gives you the voice too. It just doesn't, because you know how when it comes to techno and house stuff, you don't have to be that vocally on point to do dance type, club type music. Your vocals don't have to be flawless. They don't have to be. But when you do that type of music and then you get a strong voice with it, like a Christina Aguilera, or I don't know if you guys remember, this might be for some of you guys' times, CNC Music Factory with the dance, Martha Wash, if you get a strong voice like that to back up some dance music, house music, type music, it's everything. And Bionic, it is minus Liberation, because I haven't listened to it, so I'm not including that in this. Bionic is Christina Aguilera's best album, in my opinion. And everyone seemed to have slept on that album in 2010. So that's my album review. That's what I got. Anyways, KIRWKC, main podcasting platform. KIRWKC on Instagram, on Twitter, and Facebook.com/KIRWKC. If you are watching this on YouTube or Dailymotion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, followed by the notification bell. That will let you know when I upload new videos. To all of those who have been listening to my podcast in the United States and all over the world, it means a lot to me. And it just means more to me than you'll ever know. Like I said, I'm going to keep on putting out stuff. I'm going to keep on doing stuff for the show. I'm going to keep on giving you guys content and as much stuff as I'm able to give you. And I love every single one of you, and I sincerely mean that. Until next time, be blessed.